All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Nation blog. I'm Sean Yoder. I'm sitting here in the paddock of Barber Motorsports Park with Paul Street from Team HMA, Honda Motorsports Alabama, and Andrew Rains of Rains Racing. Paul and Andrew are in a very unique position. They're actually running the Honda Accords this season in the Pirelli World Challenge Series. Last year, Team HMA had the lone Honda Accord on track. This year, multiple Honda Accords coming out on track. 6 Accords coming out on track this year in PWC. Andrew is one of the teams leading that charge, picked up the program that Paul and the other guys at Team HMA have created with this Honda Accord. It was a very solid car, a very solid debut season, and it was recognized by HPD. It was recognized by a lot of people in the PWC paddock as a car that people really needed to pay attention to. So we're going to pick their brain a little bit here today, find out where the team came from and where the team's going in 2016 and where the other teams are going to take this Honda Accord in PWC in the future. So thanks for sitting down with us here today. I'm going to turn it over to Paul first. Paul, let the folks know exactly how Team HMA came about, how the Accord program developed, and just a little bit of the vision behind it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Street. I'm with Team HMA, Honda Motorsports Alabama, and we're one of the internal Honda teams throughout all of Honda in North America that they have. There's Hart, that's in the IMSA Continental Tire Sports Car Series. You've got the Canadians in the Canadian Series. So we're one of those teams, and we started our team in 2006. It's a volunteer team. Associates work after hours. It's a Honda program, and we had a goal that we wanted to enter professional racing. We started out, put a 5-year plan together, did just like a normal business model that we would inside the company for a normal department. And we initially started to go to the IMSA and the Continental Tire. And the more we got talking about it, the more we liked the setup and the way that PWC did things. So we decided we were going to go with Pirelli World Challenge. We started out, we went and bought one of the used Compass 360 Civics, and we were going to race that in 2015 in Pirelli. And whenever we started getting everything ready, going through our program, Lee Niffenegger from HPD, we did a conference call, and he said, "Look, guys, what we'd like to do is, in 2015, TC class is going to change. It's moving up scale. There's going to be aero. It's going to be faster cars, and the Civic we're going to put in TCA." So they had a plan, a vision, where the cars fit in, and Honda doesn't want 2 cars racing in the same class. So HPD's plans, and we're the same company. HPD, all the Honda plants in North America, all of them are the exact same company, just different branches of that. So the vision that they brought to us, they said, we're going to put the Fit, continue it in TCB. The TCA is going to be the Civic, and we're going to run the Accord in TC, and we'd like for you guys to do the Accord and build the Accord. And this conversation took place at Petit Le Mans. We did a conference call with them in 2014, so that's when our program officially started. And we started working on the car in December, started developing it, and it was the only car out there. And so HPD had some visions that the car would be very similar in the future, and it's becoming that way as the Civic is, so that it's a marketable product that they can sell parts for, support the grassroots motorsports professionally. So when we started the program, we didn't realize how big of an uphill battle it was. It kind of fits us well because all the cars we'd been dealing with in racing in the past, other than our Civic that we bought, had been V6 cars. So when we started out, there was not a single ECU tuner out there. There was no suspension for the 9th generation Accord. There was no brake package available for it, upgrade. There was no differential for it, and the Accord came with a stock open diff. So to say it was an uphill battle is putting it mildly, honestly. So we worked with Pirelli last year, and throughout the year the car made considerable improvements. By the second race of the season, the car was getting much better. By mid-Ohio, it was a mid-pack car, and the car was a little heavy last year, so we did a lot of development work on it. The cars came along. Obviously, some other teams have decided that it's a good platform. Pirelli's made some changes to the balance of performance this year. This year, they're allowing us to remove the restrictor that we had throughout all last year. It's a 65 millimeter throttle body from the factory, and 60 millimeter restrictor throughout the whole entire year is what we had to run. So this year they've given us a removal of the restrictor, a upgrade to a TL 3.7 liter intake, and a 70 millimeter throttle body. And our initial dyno tuning and testing of the car is not a lot of overall more power, but the width of the power band is considerably better. So the car is going to be great as far as power goes this year. I think it's going to be right on par. And Andrew, we talked with him in June at Road America. Is that where it was? Yeah, Andrew was racing Volkswagens last year, so we spent some time together, and I got him in touch with Lee. Lee spent some time with him. We started talking, and we did a test in September or October. We brought him out and let him test our Accord and let him get inside of it and see how he felt. And so he spent the winter building a car. So like Sean said, now we started with absolutely nothing. Now 6 of the cars, there's 23 cars in our Dakota, and 6 of them are going to be Honda Accords. And so at this point, there's still some work to do, but we could not be happier with the program of where it's come to. In just one short year, we're thrilled.
It's strong. It's strong. You don't normally see a single car effort turn into 6 cars in the second year of a program. Very impressive stuff. And one of the reasons I think you and Andrew got together, it's kind of a new Alabama gang kind of thing. You guys are both from Alabama.
Yeah, Andrew's here in Birmingham.
Yeah.
We're 60 miles outside of Birmingham. It just makes sense that we work together. And also, Andrew was driving a different car, and the reliability of the Honda product, obviously being what it is, it in itself is a natural attraction, draws people to the car. We had one failure on the car all last year throughout the whole entire season. We had the wheel studs in the right front tire, front wheel brake, and that was the only mechanical failure that we had. Nothing else. Never changed a bearing, never changed a belt, never changed another part on the car. It was almost a bolt the hood of the car shut, go race. And honestly, during the off season, all we've done is we just replaced all the wheel studs in the front, both of the front hubs, and changed fluids, so we're ready to go. Yeah, that's all we've done.
You can't beat that in a race car, especially a race car at the level that these cars are running in. I mean, this is a proper professional world-class paddock, and that's where Honda belongs. I mean, Honda's always been involved in motorsport. It's one of the adages of the company, correct me if I'm wrong, is that they will race, and through their racing, they will use that to develop the cars that the folks can buy and drive on the street. So it's great to see the Accord running in the series. Is this the return of the Accord? Are they being raced anywhere else on the planet right now? Or
there's a Canadian team that's going to come down and race in the U.S. this year, and they've got one. But this is, as far as I know, this is the Pirelli this year is going to be the only place that the Accord is being raced professionally. Now, back in 2006, 2007, Hart raced some Accords. That was somewhat of a different program. So really, these are the first backed by Honda, supported by HPD in the United States.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been some Accords club raced over the years, but I'm talking about in a proper professional level series. If you want to see an Accord race anywhere on the planet Earth, you're coming to see a PWC race.
For now.
But the idea is to expand that, correct?
I mean, always
you're expanding that from the pro ranks, and you want to see them raced in Honda Challenge, club racing, wherever anybody wants to put one on the track.
Everywhere. What we would like is eventually the Accord becomes more of a... people look at the Accord and go, that's a race car going down the road, because now whenever I see one, I see a 9th generation Accord, I look at it and go, that's a race car. I wonder if that person realizes it, and they don't at this point. And so we came up with a slogan. It's kind of corny, but we kind of stumbled on it when we were at Laguna last year, and we saw the interest of the people on the West Coast that had never seen an Accord racing. So we came up with a slogans like, we're changing the world one Accord at a time.
And it's totally true. I mean, I've done a little bit with you guys in the past, and you did the same thing for me with your Honda Odyssey program.
Yeah, we've always kind of done different, marched to our own, the different.
Absolutely,
different
but now that I've driven your Odysseys on racetracks, every time I see an Odyssey go by, and my wife will vouch for this, every time we see an Odyssey go by, I just point at it and go race car.
Yeah.
And no one has any idea how good these chassis are. They really don't. And that Honda over-engineers the product to a point where it can literally be pulled off a showroom floor, put some safety equipment in it, go out to the racetrack of your choice, and just hammer down. Yeah. And like you said, you just run them and run them and run them, and they keep running. And that's the Honda reliability, and that's the reason why people buy your product.
During the off-season, we did not replace the transmission. We didn't go put all new bearings in the car. There's no reason to, because they're overbuilt from the factory, and this is professional racing. These cars are ran hard all weekend. And with the phenomenal Pirelli tires, 275 millimeter, real race slick, real rubber, the chassis goes through a lot, and they're just good, solid, easy to drive cars. Andrew, whenever he first drove the car, he'd been used to the little higher strung, fast Volkswagens,
right.
And it's just the whole tempo is just a little slower, a little easier to get used to.
It's a much more relaxed chassis to drive. You don't have to rush it at all. It's not really constrained when you're in a corner. You don't feel like the car's bound up. To drive it fast, it's almost like you slow yourself down, and I like that. That actually kind of plays to how I see myself as a driver, a little more consistent.
Keeps you a little more calm in the car.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a huge benefit. But it's just a testament to the whole Honda reliability and everything that the Honda brand stands for and does, and not only their cars but all their products. I mean, my first touch points with the Honda brand, to use a marketing term, was motorcycles and dirt bikes and,
right.
and generators and everything growing up. And so now it's kind of a nice transition into where it really needs to be, And once I kind of was immersed in the brand, and I drove Paul's MDX and one of their automatic Accords here when we tested this summer, I was kind of like, this is where we need to be for Rains Racing as a business.
It makes sense.
Absolutely.
It makes sense. It makes sense from the drivability side, and we've shifted gears. We were talking to Paul Street, now we're talking to Andrew Rains. What is your official title with Rains Racing?
Self-proclaimed team manager, I guess.
Self-proclaimed.
That's right. Jack of all trades.
Team manager, driver / international playboy.
Something like
nice.
that. Hey, I've been very, very privileged to even be in the position that we're in right now. So first of all, I try and start everything with remembering where we come from and who we are. And you mentioned the Alabama gang earlier, and Lee Hurley, who was a member of the original Alabama gang with the Allisons, was he's kind of a grandfather figure to me. We won a club racing championship together, and so he's actually been supporting a lot that we've been doing and
right.
giving us some guidance and just helping me more as a person. He's helped me grow and become a professional individual that can do this sport from the professional side and manage your life and everything that goes into it, because it's not just being able to drive a race car fast. The people that do it
right.
will tell you that's probably 5% of it.
That's the part where you can finally sit down in the car and shut everything else out. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. That's why we work as hard as we do, because when you're in the car, that's what you're totally focused on doing, and
right.
it's relaxing. But Lee has guided me to a point. I've worked for him for a period of time. We've been close forever, and so we kind of carry that Alabama gang spirit. But it also, it's kind of centered around the Barber Motorsports Park theme, where this is a gift to our state, to Birmingham, to the whole community here. That hey, road racing is really cool, and this is now what is really propelling Alabama forward, is the manufacturing scene in the state. I mean, there's almost 70,000 automotive employees in Alabama that build cars, and what we're doing is only, Paul's team only exists because of that opportunity, because
right.
that is our kind of economic thing now. I mean, people want to be in Alabama to manufacture stuff, and our government's great about supporting that. And so I think what we're doing is a natural progression of where the economics of the state are going, and I think it's a necessity to really appreciate those people. I mean, the motor that's built in this car, the J35 engine that's in this car is fit into chassis every single day in Alabama.
Yeah, because when we started working together initially, and we started talking about doing something for 2016, the Alabama connection, because we realized that we're ambassadors when we're going out. For Laguna's sake, and we're at Road America, we have an Alabama connection, and there's professional Alabama teams. So whenever we go out and we represent, whether it's Rains Racing or HMA, that people are realizing their connection, that this is Alabama, and then they think of Barber Motorsports, and like you said, the new Alabama gang. And Lee Hurley is a perfect example. Lee Hurley's old school. He came from the NASCAR days, and whenever Andrew first started talking about the Accords, you could just see question marks over Lee's head. And
he's
now,
like, this car doesn't make any sense to me, but now it
does. But I'm
right.
a fan of it.
So now we started to come along, and so he's been out here all weekend, and he pulled his chair up yesterday, and he's like, son, don't generally get people's business. And then he proceeded to give me some really, really good advice on things that he thinks that we could do to help develop the car. And if we can take the new good from Alabama, the old good from Alabama, that the many years of the Alabama gang of learning and racing, and make that connection with the manufacturing, the Barber Motorsports Museum, and the park itself, it can only be good for the whole state.
It can only be good for the whole state, and now you guys can actually pull from 6 teams. You've got the best of Alabama, and you're also going to have a Canadian team running the car. You'll be able to pull that data, and I think the idea with having these 6 cars on track, correct me if I'm wrong, but every team's going to work together, correct? I mean, you guys are...
Yeah, it's whenever we did the program, what we did was, and we worked together with HPD, we put a build sheet together for the Accord. So if someone wanted to race an Accord, we provide a build sheet of every single part that you need to build an Accord, with how much it costs, who to go to. There's not a guesswork on what you need to do. Like all the suspension setups, all the alignment, the damper, we'll provide even damper settings for that. And the ECU tuning that we're doing, any of the people that are racing a Accord are more than welcome. We'll send them out and we'll share all of our ECU tuning. It's not a secret, because honestly, for me, when we go to COTA, we finished 8th in the series last year. I think we did pretty good for our first year. But the biggest success for me personally is when we go to COTA and we're there and I see 6 Accords that were not there year before. There was 0 2 years before that.
Right.
Then I think that the program has become a success just because other people are getting involved and seeing the benefit of the car. And the more people start running the cars, the more they're going to see the reliability and the ease of using the car. It's just a good tool to use.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's to build on that, the situation that I was in last year in Road America was we were running some very well-worn Volkswagen race cars that raced in Continental Tire.
They were quick.
They were fast.
They were
very quick in a straight line.
Right.
The dampers on my car didn't actually have hold any air pressure, so I had some setup quandaries at Road America. So I was looking for an answer to how I could build what I was doing. At that point, it was just spending money to do what I know I need to be doing, and I'm looking at this going, I want to build a business that benefits our community and does something for Alabama. And I have amazing supporters that were willing to say they see the vision, but I wasn't providing them with the right tool to go forward. And so when Paul approached me about the Accord, I said, this is something that we can build a business around, because it's not that we want to go make a ton of money doing it. That's not the end goal. I mean, you have to make profit in order to survive and succeed and to do it long term.
But there are very few people in the world who have actually figured out how to take motorsport and
make money.
Make tons of money doing it. I can name names, but everybody listening to this already knows those names.
Right, exactly. And so the goal of, and pardon my interruption, but the goal is to inspire people that are in Alabama to want to be a part of it. And if people from all over Alabama and different companies, and I mean, we have National Bank of Commerce, which is a Birmingham-based bank that's our title sponsor this year. We're announcing another partner next week that's a very, very well-known Alabama-based company that has one of the best names. It's an honor to work with this brand. We'll share more soon.
Nice.
Awesome. And then there's
I'll be calling it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be very interesting. The car will look cool. And everybody that we have involved is invested in Alabama, and getting these people invested in Rains Racing and therefore HMA, and building this platform. That's sharing the load and doing something for the community that's greater than something we can do on our own. And that's ultimately what we want the goal to be, is to show that Alabama pride. This is an Alabama product. Paul and his team developed this car here in Alabama, and they've given us this opportunity. HPD, and Honda have really just been on top of building the Accord into the car that allows us to do this. So it's and as I touched on earlier, it's I tell Paul this all the time. I'm still kind of pinching myself, because 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, this is where I was planning to be, and it's all about it's very hard to put together a long-term plan in this business. But I've been very lucky that I've met the right people along the way, and the people that are around me have the right values and morality as far as keeping relationships with people, not burning bridges, and understanding the value of every single individual on the planet, and that they're contributing towards what we're doing. And I think just having that mindset allows you to proceed.
I mean, I've followed you through Formula SAE and club racing, and even the first time I met you, which was probably 5 years ago now, probably somewhere 5-6 years ago
so.
now. I mean, even back then, we had a conversation. I don't know if you remember it or not, but it was at an FSAE. You were testing the SAE car, and we were talking, and you were like, "It's going to happen. I'm going to race professionally. I don't know how I'm going to do it just yet, but the ideas are coming together." And to look back on that and now be sitting here in the Team HMA hauler with you, or Rains Racing hauler with you, and it's happening. You know, it's definitely happening. And the family aspect of it, the fact that it's Honda, it's HPD, it's Team HMA, it's Rains Racing, it's the other, 4 teams that are involved with the brand to make the 6-car total. It's going to be an impressive effort. I think everybody listening to this needs to watch for these Honda Accords during the PWC season this year. It's going to be very fun watching the cars run to the front, but also watching the 6 cars themselves.
The dynamics of how the series is going to shake down this year with the TC. There's 12 MX-5 Cup cars.
Right.
You got a couple BMWs, a couple Mustangs, it's a couple 370s. CA Sports got 2 370s, and the 6 Accords. It's going to be a great year. I think Pirelli has done a really, really good job in their balance of performance.
Yeah, it's been getting better. Definitely.
We're extremely pleased with where we are right now. We knew last year, going into the year, when we got our initial Appendix A, we saw how we stood with that. We knew that it was a learning year, and it was fine with us because we were looking for 2016, 2017. But I think that Pirelli has really done their best to make professional racing affordable and fair for everybody. Right. And HPD, and I want to touch on this, make sure, HPD is the one that initiated this program with us. Without HPD and particularly Lee Niffenegger's support, we would never have been able to achieve any success. There would not have been 6 Accords this year. There probably wouldn't even be 1 Accord this year had HPD not really started, initiated, and provided a great program for us.
Right.
So we could not be more happy working internally with the Honda connections that we have. We've got some really good sponsors or partners that have come on board that have helped us and develop products. Our Megan Racing did great on the suspension. We've got Honda came up last year and did some ECU programming, and were the initial first ones to ever have an ECU program available for the Accord. K-Tuners come on, and they're supplying some of the cars in the series now also. So you've got 2 really good, strong ECU tuners that are available. We worked with HPD.
RV6?
RV6, yes. Well, let me...
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We worked with HPD, and the missing link to the puzzle was the differential. And the great guys at HPD with connections like Andrew was talking about developed a Cusco diff for the car, which was just phenomenal.
Yeah, you called me after the first time.
Yeah, it's great.
Paul called me up, and he couldn't stop gushing. It was just like, it's so good. You can't believe how good it is. And for the folks that don't know Paul, he doesn't gush. He doesn't get excited like that. But he was like a 5-year-old Paul when I was talking to him after he put the diff in the car. So the program's definitely taken off. Definitely taken off.
You mentioned RV6. This is an example. We've been working with Rich at RV6 for our exhaust products since 2008. And it was funny, our team was really smart. That's about whenever you and I met, Sean. Yeah. Around that time, you were still in kindergarten. But Rich has been with us for that long, and we've grown together. And we've developed really good partners throughout this. And we're unique as a team. We're going out and we're providing stuff for the associates to work, after hours activities. We're helping build Honda's brand. And Andrew was the first one to actually start building the 2nd Accord. So I always refer to it as PWC number 2. So Andrew jumped on board really early on.
Anything? Nope.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, like I said before, working with Honda is kind of a dream, because it's one of those companies that you kind of fantasize about being able to work with because of their ability to just do things the right way, and I think that's what I've kind of looked at as a way to build our business. Is you want to be involved with the right partners. You know, in motorsports, there's a lot of people that are willing to do things quickly and put things together fast and make it happen, and that's not always the way to do it for a long period of time. I think it's more about getting the right people involved, people that really benefit from it, and people that understand the costs involved, people that know it is an expensive sport, but you got to get that out of your mind if you want to go do it. You got to find the right people that are willing to support you from a seed funding level, and then you have to find the people that are willing to support you as a business venture. And I'm really thankful that we're now in the part of this program for Rains Racing where we are with the relationship with Honda Motorsports, Alabama, HPD, everyone else, that this is a business. This is what I'm doing every day. And Paul has been a big part of encouraging me to do it. You know, and on a personal level, him just calling me and saying, "Hey, Andrew, don't give up. I know this is hard. You know, you just keep going." And that's been big. And having my family support behind me to push in the same way. But mainly just have to thank National Bank of Commerce and John Holcomb, Phil Pasquin with PLK Investment Partners. He's a friend of mine, grew up going to church with, and he basically just said, I want you to succeed, and I'm here to support you and do that. And my family wants to come to the race, we want to enjoy it. And to have somebody do that is certainly humbling.
Yeah, you've got manufacturer support, you've got sponsor support, and you've got family support. And I think you can't lose. You flat out can't lose. You've got the right backing.
Another Alabama connection, and we'll make sure I get this in. It's also one of our long-term partners we've been working with since 2008, 2009, I think, is Spec Clutch. They've been great. Jeremy at Spec has been phenomenal. They've been with us forever. So Spec Clutch has really been a good part of our business and our success. Moved over now, they're supporting Andrew. P2R has been really good with us. We've picked up a few new partners this year. They're one of those partners. So we're really pleased. We can't wait till the start of the season at COTA. Once we get there, COTA's a phenomenal track. Pirelli's done a great job balancing the series with the cars, the TC. The TC cars now are not the TC cars that were 3 or 4 years ago.
Totally different.
These are very good cars, fast cars, cheap and economical to operate if you have a Honda, of course. So we're excited and looking forward to it. Yeah, put that in there.
Absolutely.
Sean, we appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. And Barber Motorsports is a great place. I mean, where else could we do an interview?
Yeah, what a fantastic venue for everything.
Yeah, Mr. Barber gets thanked all the time for building this place, and it is truly, I think it's the most spectacular racetrack on the planet Earth.
If you haven't been here, you have to make the trip. It's
Absolutely.
It's worth it. Flying across the country to be here.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we love as Alabamans.
Can you come back and talk to us after COTA? Because I don't gush much, but after I see 6 Accords at COTA,
I could come to COTA. We could just talk. We could just talk there. That's not a problem.
It's great.
No, thanks for sitting down with me today. I know Andrew's got to get out of the trailer and back in the car. They've got a little more shakedown to do on the Rain Racing Accord here at Barber today. I'm going to let you guys wrap it up and you get out there to the car. I want to thank Andrew Rains of Rains Racing and Paul Street from Team HMA for sitting down with us today. This has been the Racing Nation blog. I'm Sean Yoder. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks for listening.